Watch
When a
this.
celebrity and a brand come together to make a bold statement,
Bro, this is like me and Collins Creek coffee chat.
it's bound to end in disaster. And one
Oh,
thing you can almost always
not
count on
disaster
is the
though.
brand folding to the pressure the second Twitter gets angry. Well, besides American Eagle and Sydney Sweeney, they seem to be doubling down on their message despite the backlash from customers. In this video, we're breaking down disastrous celebrity marketing collaborations that caused outrage, starting with Bud Light and Dylan Mulvaney, which may have destroyed Bud Light's sales forever. Transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney posted a sponsored Instagram video for Bud Light's Easy Carry contest.
Isn't that crazy, bro? Like this contest probably had like hundreds of, not thousands of influencers, and they're all posting, like trying to like promote the contest. One of the influencers that they paid to promote the contest was transgender, and it became this whole big with bath water. So grind, but people would honestly buy that.
A $15,000 giveaway tied to March Madness sponsored by the beer brand. In it, Mulvaney poked fun at her lack of sports knowledge, but celebrated March Madness with a cold one.
I kept hearing about this thing called March Madness, and I thought we were all just having a hectic month, but it turns out it has something to do with sports. And I'm not sure exactly which sport, but either way, it's a cause to celebrate.
Bud Light sent her a can with her face on it. It was a present that was gifted in celebration of her 365th day of girlhood, which was a series she launched as a video diary of her transition, each day detailing the ups, downs, and realities of transitioning to a female. Almost immediately, the sponsorship was met with backlash as consumers disagreed with Bud Light's decision to partner with someone in the LGBTQ community. There also was an assumption that Bud Light was planning on mass-producing cans with Dylan on them, which was not true. It was just a one-off gift. Conservative celebrities and political figures expressed their outrage as they witnessed their favorite beer brand go woke before their eyes. Kid Rock posted a video of himself wearing a MAGA hat and shooting at several cases of Bud Light with a submachine gun, and concluding the message,
"That's insane, bruh. Look how psychopathic this is. Bro saw Dylan Mulvaney post an Instagram reel and went and got all the Bud Light in his fridge, or went and bought some from his gas station, got a fucking AR and fucking lit it up. What's there, buddy? My parents boycotted Bud Light. God damn.
With F Bud Light and F Anheuser-Busch. For critics, the outrage stemmed from the belief that Bud Light, a brand that was forever associated with traditional, blue-collar American culture, was pandering to politics that they did not agree with. And honestly, the critics may have been right, because just a few days after the backlash, the company didn't exactly double down on their choice to work with Mulvaney. Anheuser-Busch CEO Brendan Whitworth released a statement on the company's website writing about the importance of accountability and taking responsibility for ensuring every consumer feels proud. We never intended to be a part of a discussion that divides people. We are in the business of bringing people together over a beer. My time serving this country taught me the importance of accountability and the values upon which America was founded: freedom, hard work, and respect for one another. This response is textbook corporate damage control. Notice how it never once mentions Dylan Mulvaney by name, never addresses transgender rights, and never clarifies whether the brand stands behind its original decision. Instead, it leans on patriotism, heritage, and broad values like freedom and hard work, themes that are impossible to disagree with. It's written perfectly vague. By neither apologizing nor doubling down, Anheuser-Busch essentially tried to sidestep the controversy while hoping both sides would just read and interpret whatever they wanted from the statement. But the backlash didn't go away. It got worse. Senator Ted Cruz and Senator Marsha Blackburn demanded a formal investigation into Bud Light's parent company, AB InBev. They accused the company of using Mulvaney to manipulate children. Lawmakers accused—
Holy fuck! For that one Instagram reel of her saying, "I don't know much about sports, but it's cause to celebrate. Let's crack a cold one." Like, what? We're upset about.
Of creating a faux prepubescent girl.
Bro, who the fuck? Kids don't even drink beer. Why would a beer commercial be for them?
Persona to intentionally
Insane. I mean,
appeal
they
to young
do,
viewers.
but
The key to this allegation is Mulvaney's video diary series Days of Girlhood, seizing on the word girl to argue that Mulvaney is trying to appear underage herself, otherwise she would use the word woman. Ultimately, the investigation was dismissed, and even though Dylan caught a bunch of unnecessary hate because she was just simply hired to do a brand deal, she responded to all of this pretty positively.
I grew up in a conservative family, and I'm extremely privileged because they still love me very much. And I grew up in the church, and I still have my faith, which I am really trying to hold on to right now. But I've always tried to love everyone, you know, even the people that make it really, really hard.
dang.
And I think it's okay to be frustrated with someone or confused. But what I'm struggling to understand is the need to dehumanize and to be cruel. I was nervous that you were going to start believing those things that they were saying about me, since it is so loud. But I'm just going to go
On the can. But she wasn't even on the can. She was just one of many celebrities promoting a Bud Light contest.
and trust that the
To their
people who know me
followers.
and my heart won't listen to that noise.
But Bud Light's damage control was not working, so they made the terrible decision of making the CEO of Anheuser-Busch go on morning television, but he refused to answer any questions clearly.
Given the moment we're in, this moment in America with trans issues at the top of a Republican social or conservative political agenda, knowing what you know now, if you could go back, would you send this can to this one person again?
There's a big social conversation taking place right now, and big brands are right in the middle of it. And it's not just our industry or Bud Light. It's happening in retail, it's happening in fast food. And so for us, what we need to understand is, deeply understand and appreciate, is the consumer and what they want, what they care about, and what they expect from big brands.
Here we can see even more classic
feel
corporate
threatened. It's
soulless
so
media
weird.
training. Look sympathetic, sound unifying, without actually committing to anything. By refusing to either stand behind Dylan Mulvaney or back away from the campaign, Bud Light managed to piss off both sides. Conservatives felt the brand had gone woke and was dodging accountability, while supporters of Mulvaney
broke.
and the LGBTQ community saw the silence as cowardice,
That's
not doubling
crazy.
down on their decision to work with her in the first place. What started as a single social media post spiraled into a full-blown identity
Like a true patriot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't really know how it affects kids.
crisis for
A
America's
Bud Light
best-selling
ad.
beer. And because of this, Bud Light lost its title as the best-selling beer in the US, overtaken by rival Modelo. Its sales plummeted by 10% in spring of 2023 and up to 29% decline year over year by early 2024. Executives involved in the campaign took leaves of absence or stepped down from their positions. They
Dang, people were getting demoted and fired over this shit too, bro.
tried to desperately bounce back by collaborating with comedian Shane Gillis and pop star Post Malone, two celebrities that don't exactly identify as right-wing, but clearly Bud Light thinks they appeal to the target demographic that they felt they had lost. In other words, Bud Light was trying to course correct by platforming figures that were
spot.
perceived as safe
My go-to beer chat is Bud Light.
to conservatives. They
Or
were
was,
signaling,
same.
hey, we're still your favorite beer. But it hasn't worked. As of 2025, Bud Light sales are still down 30% year over year. This shows how badly things can go when brands step into political
Damn.
territory, but it doesn't even compare to how deeply things can
That's crazy. Look how bad it went for them. They were #1, and now they're under Michelob. Like, you know you're bad when you're under Michelob.
go when brands step into political
Bud
territory,
shoes.
but it doesn't even compare to how disastrous the Kendall Jenner Pepsi ad was. In April of 2017, Pepsi attempted to prove that its product
#1.
was the answer to centuries of racial
anymore.
injustice through a commercial starring Kendall Jenner. The ad showed Kendall participating in a fashion shoot before noticing a nearby protest. Although Jenner is the main protagonist, the ad also includes an Asian cellist and a Muslim photographer who also noticed the march. The protest itself is filled with people from various ethnic and religious backgrounds who've come together to demand justice and systemic change. However, instead of protesters displaying sadness and anger over something as unsettling as police brutality, PepsiCo's in-house content creation team, Creators League Studio, instructed its
Damn.
protesters to smile and appear to be happy. It almost looks like they're at a backyard barbecue. This was likely done to combat the assumption that protests are violent violent and an inconvenience to the public. Kendall
Well,
ditches her photo shoot to join in on the
that's the
protest.
point.
She walks past a bowl of Pepsi submerged in ice, grabbing one before walking towards several white police officers standing in a line formation. Jenner nonchalantly approaches an officer and hands him a can of Pepsi almost as a peace offering. The crowd goes wild, and even the officer takes a sip and celebrates with a smile. It's hard to interpret this commercial as anything other than Pepsi suggesting that centuries of systemic injustice and violent clashes between police and protesters could all be solved with a cold soda.
Damn.
And as you can imagine, outrage erupted
Coke
online.
Zero, maybe.
Brandwatch reported a staggering
The
21,000%
beanbag. Yeah, then Kylie Jenner gets hit in the head with the police baton.
increase in Pepsi's social media mentions, with most of those being negative. A Twitter user named Antonio Gobeo posted a picture of a black person yelling in apparent anguish as their hair is aggressively pulled by a police officer. The caption reads, "Kendall, please, give him a Pepsi." While there is a tone of humor in this, it also highlights how the ad minimized real struggles, turning violent clashes between police and protesters into a fun party where systemic injustice could be solved with a soda. The most powerful response came
Sody
from
pop.
Bernice King, daughter of the
Pop,
legendary
pop, pop.
civil rights activist Martin Luther King
All the
Jr.
problems.
Bernice posted a picture of her father peacefully protesting while being assaulted by police officers with the sarcastic caption, "If only Daddy would have known about the
Now her
power of
hashtagging
hashtag Pepsi." Others shifted criticism from Pepsi to Kendall Jenner, pointing out how a wealthy white woman
Like
born
the
and raised
cherry
in a mansion in
Pepsi.
Beverly Hills couldn't be
I like-
more
I
detached
don't
from
really
the
like
realities of
dislike
racial
Pepsi, but
injustice.
Coke is
Pepsi
just better.
unintentionally positioning
Yeah.
Kendall as the white savior, as well as her not having a history of being a social activist, couldn't have been worse for her image. And while Pepsi never outright claimed, "We ended
is.
racism," the police officer accepting Kendall's Pepsi before gesturing to his partner, "It's not too bad," heavily implied that their product could be the solution to such a complex issue. The ad would be pulled by the company one day after its release, along with an apology.
One
Pepsi
day
was trying
after
to
is
project a
crazy.
global message of unity, peace, and understanding. "Clearly, we missed the mark, and we apologize. We did not intend to make light of any
Yes.
serious issue. We are removing the content and halting any further rollout. We also apologize for putting Kendall Jenner in this position." Additionally, it was discovered that 6 people in key
Should be
positions
aight.
for the ad's creative team were all white. To critics, this ad was the product of a
Should
team
be
that
aight.
lacked the very perspectives the ad was trying to portray. When
I
no
used
one
to
in the
hate it.
decision-making
What's soda?
process has real-life experience with the issues
Is way
being
better.
represented,
Yeah,
it becomes
it's not
much
like I
easier
dislike
to reduce
Pepsi,
serious
but,
struggles
like,
to
when
shallow
it's so similar to
symbolism.
Coke,
In an
and
interesting
Coke is so
move,
much
Pepsi
better.
continued to clarify and defend Jenner. TMZ reported that Kendall had no involvement in the creative process and that she took on the project with no knowledge of the marketing vision. She admittedly knew about the
Well,
storyline when she
I
got
mean,
the script,
shit.
but by then things were already a done deal. But this just caused even more backlash because many wondered why it was necessary to apologize to Kendall Jenner. It wasn't just the ad that was tone deaf, but that the company's first instinct was to protect the celebrity at the center rather than acknowledge the people whose
Like the
pain they
CEO
had
might
turned
have a
into a
crush on
marketing
her.
gimmick. Plus, she got paid. In a later episode
Lemonade,
of Keeping Up with the
Coke?
Kardashians,
I've
Kendall
never had
burst into
that.
tears
You
expressing
mix it, or is that
remorse.
something
The
they actually
fact that I
make?
would offend other people or hurt other people was definitely not the intent.
Like many of these marketing mistakes, the brand apologizes, the celebrity says it was never their intention to hurt anyone. Honestly, nothing really happens and then everyone moves on, until the next PR disaster proves that nothing was learned. It's actually become so cyclical that in this most recent campaign with Matt Rife and Elf Cosmetics, it almost feels like the brand was a few steps ahead of the public, because the way they responded to the backlash was something we don't see very often. In August of 2025, Elf Cosmetics released their newest campaign, titled "The Law Offices of Elfino and Schmarns," which featured TikTok comedian Matt Rife alongside drag
TikTok
artist Heidi.
comedian is crazy. That's funny as fuck. The crocodile tears. Bought Wendy's again. Jada! Welcome in, girl! Thank you so much for the 4 months of support. It really does blow my mind. So many of you guys love to show me so much love, love to support me, love to see me win, love to make my life a little easier. You guys are awesome. Like, they called Matt Rife a TikTok comedian. Like, Matt Rife hasn't been on Wild Now, hasn't been like on tours and like in the Laugh Factory before TikTok was even around. I'm not like a Matt Rife fan or fanboy, but Matt Rife has been around for a long time. He just only recently got popular like to like the mainstream.
Closet. The advertisement parodied law firm commercials satirically addressing the issue of overpriced beauty products. According to Corey Marchesotto, Elf Beauty's global chief marketing officer, the brand partnered with Rife because the comedian appealed to Elf Cosmetics' target female Gen Z audience. His TikTok account is 80% female and 75% under the age of 34, so right in the sweet spot. This is one of those rare moments where
That's
the brand is
crazy.
actually honest about why they chose a celebrity. It's not all this hoopla about how he's so funny and that he aligns with their moral vision for the world. It's simply because his audience data lined up exactly with the demographic that they wanted to sell product to. Some people might consider this shallow, but in a world of brands pretending to take moral stances that they don't actually believe in, at least this feels transparent. However, consumers
Real.
quickly reminded Elf Cosmetics why it's important to conduct a proper background check before endorsing any celebrity. After the partnership went public, Rife's controversial material, specifically joking about domestic violence,
Bro, okay, you can't expect any comedian, especially a man, to be a good fucking representation for your company for a brand deal because they've all made shitty jokes.
in his 2023 Netflix special,
He's
Natural
just
Selection,
funny.
became the top
Like I remember he did have a weird history of domestic violence jokes and rape jokes towards women. And like you can't really make an excuse for it, but they were like a couple of years ago, so he does shock humor. No, he's not a shock humor comedian. I remember the joke exactly, and it was a story about how he had a girl over, and they were roughhousing, and things got pretty serious, and like blah blah. Basically, the story ended up with him beating her up and raping her, and I don't know. It was it's a weird story. If you watch, you can't even watch it on stream. You gotta look it up now. But watch it in your free time, chat, if you really want to like get the whole. Because like there are some people like there's some jokes here and there that are about domestic violence and this that he's made. People will bring up, but like what people really try to use against him is this story time where he did with the audience. He's like, yeah, guys. So one time I brought this girl back to my house, and you know. She was this bigger girl, about like 6'1", 6'3", something like that. And it starts off like that, and it's really weird. It turned like when I was watching it too, I was like, okay. It's like a really weird monologue. I don't understand it, but
topic of discussion for women across social media. Part of Matt Rife's appeal comes from the fact that he doesn't fit the traditional mold of a male stand-up comic. Comedy has long been dominated by average-looking men who thrive on exaggerated stories and self-deprecation. Rife,
yeah, exaggerated stories.
on the other hand, looked more like the traditional depiction
He looks like Frodo. He reminds me of Frodo Baggins. Unfollowed. Well, like I said, watch it. Watch the clip. I mean, it's like a 6-minute clip story. I'm sure you can find it somewhere. And like I said, I'm with Turk. Like I understand shock humor and I can back up shock humor even if I don't think it's funny. Even sometimes I find it distasteful and disrespectful. The reason why people made a big deal out of his it was because of how weird it was. It was weird. I can't even defend him on it. Because like I'm all about like humor is funny and push the boundaries and things like that. But like I'm not gonna like start describing like a crime that could trigger people's PTSD and trauma or is insensitive to a certain group and like not make a one-off like little like 1-inch joke. I'm not gonna like you just say one thing and people are like, ooh, oh shit, you're like, I'll stop there. But like when you go into like a story time about it and you're like, like kind of like talking about details and this kind of like, is this a confession? It almost sounded like a humorous confession
of a handsome man, and his material was mostly talking about the dynamics of sex and relationships. He would often deliver his jokes using this
appreciate you.
flamboyant,
Oh, I'm not mindful, but I'm not gonna be like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, I guess.
sassy tone that feels more like discussing juicy gossip with your girl best friend.
Babe, come on. Are you serious? Him? You're worried about him?
Matt embraced his heartthrob comic persona and understood that he could gain a niche, diehard fan base if he appealed specifically to women. However, Matt forgot that because of his gender, he had little room for error. During his 2023 Netflix special, Natural
I'm not mindful. I mean, I'm not. I'm not. I'm saying like, because I say fucked up shit. I say terrible shit just like him. But I listen. I know when I'm gonna get in trouble.
Election.
I guess is the better way to put it. Like I know what I can get away with and what I can't. You know what I mean? Like, and like how like I said, for example, how he told his joke and his story would be something that not even I could get away with. That even I know would be like, okay, like that's just kind of weird and gross. You know what I mean?
Rife got a little too comfortable and made an insensitive joke that reminded his audience he's still just a man. At the very beginning of the special, Rife told a joke about him and his friend that were greeted by a waitress with a black eye. His friend says, "Yeah, I feel bad for her, man. I feel like they should put her in the kitchen or something where nobody has to see her face." Rife replied, "Yeah, but I feel like if she could cook, she wouldn't have that black eye."
Yeah. See, that's like, this is like the little jokes, the one-off jokes here and there that he brings up.
He added, "I figure we start the show with domestic violence. The rest of the show should be pretty smooth sailing after that." His joke ruffled feathers because
yeah, he would make like little like, yeah, that's a shock humor. I don't know, like I don't know why he's bringing that one up. It's the story that always got me.
he made light of a serious issue that plagues his main
He started on a show called Wild and Out. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it.
demographic.
With Nick Cannon.
According to the CDC's National Intimate Partner and Sexual Violence Survey, approximately 41% of women in the U.S. have experienced contact sexual violence, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner at some point in their lifetime. Elf Cosmetics says on their Elf Cares site that ELF stands for Empowering Legendary Females while also simultaneously hiring someone who...
Yeah, that's probably not good if like you're saying things that don't align with the company values. Like if, you know, my generous sponsor, Collins Creek Coffee, shout out Collins Creek Coffee. If I was like, guys, don't drink caffeine, it's bad for you. That shit will fucking turn your kidneys into rocks and make you throw up and ugly and old and make your teeth turn yellow, then like, you know, it's probably not a good matchup. I'll be back in a little boy. I love you guys. That's weird. What do you mean by that? Do I mod it? Screenshot it? And being stalked.
makes light of DV. Beauty influencer Nikki Tutorials also spoke out. "You lost me. Matt Rife, out of all people? So disappointed." However, Elf interestingly claimed that they never anticipated any backlash. "There's a big gap between our intention and how this missed the mark for some people. We always aim to..."
Yeah, I will say this. At the end of the day, Matt Rife, I don't know enough about him, but like in general, like you get close enough to anyone, any person, celebrity, your friends, your mom, your dad, and you really see them for who they are. The light really shines on them. You're around them long enough. You understand them. You understand life and experience and how time flies by. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has those days. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, people all do fucked up shit. Said fucked up shit. Have laughed at fucked up shit they shouldn't have. And it's wrong. And you know, and sometimes we're just, as humans, we're wrong. That's that. But I don't think you should hate and fucking not appreciate, or people who have done those things should not have jobs or work or, you know, friends or family or support. Still think they still deserve all those things, but if it's like a repeated decision and not a mistake or not a one-off thing, is when it becomes like a problem. You know what I mean?
liver positivity, and this one didn't. So we find ourselves in a position where, quite honestly, that doesn't feel good for us. Elf later made a statement addressing the situation. "You know us. We're always listening, and we've heard you." The campaign aimed to humorously spotlight beauty and justice. "We understand we missed the mark with people we care about in our elf community. While Elfino and Schmarns closes today, we'll continue to make the case against overpriced beauty." I think it's in the commercial, as if slipping in a wink
I wonder if the commercial is any
would
good.
soften the blow. It feels a little condescending because it reduces genuine criticism to a branded tagline. It's like if McDonald's made an apology that read, "We know we let some of you down, and that's on us. Next time, we'll make sure you're loving it." Or Nike saying, "Owning our mistakes isn't easy, but we have to just do it." It's almost like Elf knows the outrage
Damn.
will fade, the sales won't dip, and in the end, none of it really matters. But not every brand takes that shrug it off approach. Some go the opposite route, doubling down on their celebrity endorsement no matter how loud the backlash gets. And no example makes that clearer than American Eagle's unwavering support for Sydney.
What I don't get about this whole thing was I only think people on the internet were mad about this. Like, I didn't, like, here's what people don't understand. Like, the outrage on, I didn't know Elf made commercials. I mean, who the fuck watches TV to see commercials? Welcome back, Vamp. Like, when people don't realize this, a lot of people don't post on social media, don't have social media. They watch, they do this, they do that. They don't have strong opinions. But like the people you do see on social media are like the most crazed individuals in society who have nothing going on in their life that's substantial, so they can be mad and outraged over a fucking commercial at American Eagle. You know what I mean? And then like they don't have all these concerns and worries and hardships and jobs and motivations like we do. And so, but like you see that, you're like, wow, so many people are mad about it. But in the grand scheme of things, it's like, yeah, this tweet has 50K likes, but there's 7 billion people in the world. So like, and half these likes are probably bots or people on multiple accounts. Like, it's not that maybe, and this is over the whole world. Like, not that many people are mad.
Sweeney. In July of 2025, American Eagle debuted a fall denim campaign starring pop star Sydney Sweeney. The slogan that
Pop star? I thought she was an actress. Wait, Sydney Sweeney makes music?
accompanied the campaign read, "Sydney Sweeney has great genes." It's a double entendre, complimenting Sydney's genetics, but also her blue genes.
No, what? Real?
We know this is true because on American Eagle's Instagram, Sweeney stands in front of a poster of herself titled, "Sydney Sweeney has great genes," before the word genes as in genetics is crossed out and replaced with jeans as in pants. The neutral reaction to this message was that the brand was just highlighting that she was a conventionally attractive woman, therefore she has good genes. However, a more extreme interpretation erupted after another video was released regarding the campaign.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has great genes.
Some critics
like, bro, how do you take that? That's so crazy, bro. The outrage, this everyone hated it. I don't see the prob. That's so crazy, bro. Bloody hell. Okay. I know there's a lot of memes going around and where it's like, oh my god, like this. There are some white people, believe it or not, who have better genetics than other white people. And so, like, you know, like I would say, I have good genetics. No hate to anyone else. No putting down of you guys. Shout out to my mom and dad. I only know her for selling soap. She's just zipping up some jeans.
Interpreted this ad as American Eagle promoting eugenics, white supremacy, and Nazi propaganda.
Sydney Sweeney campaign is exactly the reason why we need D, E, and I in every corporation. Because what happens when you have a bunch of white folk who all look and think the same?
Those Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads are weird. Like fascist weird. Like Nazi propaganda.
I'm normally on on the side of, you know, more liberal, more whatever takes or whatever. But like, it's just like fascist weird, like Nazi propaganda weird. Look, listen, bro, I have Jewish descent, and it's kind of crazy when you say that. Like, you comparing an American Eagle ad to Nazi fascist propaganda weird. Like, Nazis would literally put up signs that says death to Jews, Jew-owned business, do not shop here, eradicate Jewish people. And she's like, yeah, I'm hot. I got good genetics, I'm so sexy. Buy these jeans. Like girl, like, get off the internet, go outside just for a second. Like, this is actually kind of crazy. After my jeans, like, this is nuts.
Weird.
I'm starting to think we're one Sydney Sweeney campaign away from them taking our right to vote too.
Critics felt that the campaign having Sweeney suggest that she has superior genetics while highlighting her blue eyes, blonde hair, and fair skin, that American Eagle was depicting the same Aryan ideal imagery used in Nazi propaganda and other racial purity narratives.
I think this is like a company actively trying to lean into like white nationalists and eugenicist arguments to fucking advocate for people to purchase their product.
Doja Cat even chimed in and mocked the ad with a sort of American redneck accent.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits.
Okay, I love you, Doja, but you're the last person to talk about this shit. We didn't forget your conservative little manic episodes you had. We don't forget that. Where you were like, you're not even conservative, you were MAGA. Chat, we don't forget Doja went MAGA for a hot minute. She was like hanging out with Sam Hyde, talking about like some Trump shit. Oh god. By default, I'm screwed, Turk. We don't forget.
It's like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Even Vice President J.D. Vance joined in to share his opinion.
Yeah. The lesson they have apparently taken is we're going to attack people as Nazis for thinking Sydney Sweeney is beautiful.
And maybe I'm just
What up, Jeb? Made the beef stranger. Wait, what? Yeah. Was MAGA. So Doja crashed out during the pandemic for like 3 or 4 months, and she was just spouting off weird shit. She needed like mental help.
Sensitized to all of this, but I feel like these days, whenever there's backlash
Doja
of this matter,
yeah, you guys don't remember. Doja used to like have like she used to crash out a lot, and like she'd pop out these random like manic things she'd be going through, and then like acting different, and she's been pretty chill as of recent from what I've seen, but
it just feels like rage bait
she used
that
to have
neither
crazy
side even
crash outs.
truly cares about. It's just a week-long distraction dressed up as a moral debate. News outlets are salivating over it, not because it matters, but because it's easy, pointless talking points that guarantee clicks and outrage without requiring any real reporting. It's almost like both sides of the political spectrum just get amped up whenever there's a reason to argue about their political ideologies. And while everyone was expecting some corporate sanitized apology, American Eagle posted a statement where they said the ad campaign is and always was about the jeans, as in pants. Her jeans, her story. We'll continue to celebrate how everyone wears their AE jeans with confidence, their way. Great jeans look good on anyone. Weirdly enough, American Eagle actually anticipated receiving backlash.
No way. I don't think Charlie Kirk. I don't know. I don't think he was a debater. I don't think he should got killed, but period. We'll play buyers and everything. If we're talking about Charlie Kirk, I'll say he should have never got killed. No one should ever be murdered for their opinions, but he wasn't a debater. He's a propagandist. There's a big difference. Dev shouldn't have been killed. Yeah, no, yeah. He wasn't a debater, bro. fuck. Like I'm so against that shit. That shit happened literally like 10 minutes down the road from me.
In the run-up to the ad, AE's chief marketing officer, Craig Bromers, told trade media outlets that it included clever, even provocative language, and was definitely going to push buttons.
The people laughing and happy about it. No, it was disgusting. It was sickening, and I saw the video and it made me sick to my stomach, and saw the memes, the tweets. It was sick. Disgusting, especially happening to such a casual person, because he wasn't a politician. He wasn't, yeah, he had ties to Trump, like really close ties, but it was only because his podcast was so big, and he was marketing for Trump. So yeah, he got a lot of like fame from that, but like it's crazy to see just because if you don't know, Charlie Kirk's older. He's been around for a long time, but he used to just be a YouTuber, and he leaned into politics here and there, and then he became more political and started doing more and more stuff like that. So it's crazy to see someone who's just was like a Twitter guy, YouTuber, Instagram guy, just get fucking shot like that, regardless of his opinions, is insane. You know what I'm saying? Like politicians, like that's just like a long-standing thing. But now podcasters and YouTubers are getting murked for their opinions. You know what I'm saying?
Essentially, they knew they were rage baiting.
No, for real.
However, polling data collected by The Economist and YouGov found that only 12% of Americans found the ad offensive. The poll also revealed that 39% of respondents said the ad was clever. Meanwhile, 40% said it was neither offensive nor clever, which is data that just backed up what I said before, that nobody really cares about this.
For real, but here's one thing I'll say. It's like, if you look throughout history and you look throughout movements and civilizations and societies, within our lifetime, our grandparents' lifetime, other lifetimes, and anytime you look into a movement where there's a political shift or times are changing, and there's someone who is aligning themselves with a lot of fascist, phobic beliefs and a lot of hate speech and hate think and propaganda, it's not really unheard of or uncommon that they get clapped. I mean, I don't think it's good. I don't want that to happen. I mean, shit's fucking terrifying, bro. I can't even go down the goddamn street. Harming against other people, I don't know about that. It's not that he encouraged harm. He said, "Oh, go do this or go do that," but unvalidating and supporting certain causes that are directly harming people is harm, in my opinion. But it's potato. It's crazy. He's literally dead. That's crazy to me. Clock it. Like, he supported and funded and was like a lot of like white nationalist rallies. That's like proven. Just because he didn't say go do anything, he like was completely against trans people. Like, just said they were manic crazy people and that like they should be locked up and thrown in jail. So like he didn't want to hurt people. I get it. Like he didn't want to like shove people in the ground and throw them in the gulag like Adolf Hitler. But like his political ideologies, his thoughts, his speeches were, what I mean, lied about that. Like I said, I'm not trying to get into it or get political about it. I'm just saying that like nobody should ever be killed for their opinions or thoughts. But like historically speaking, look at Archduke Ferdinand. You can look back all the way to that. Things like that.
But if you were to check Twitter, you have millions and millions of people talking about it. So they care enough to talk about it on social media, but that's pretty much it. And while this ad generated significant buzz for the retailer, it ultimately failed to boost real-world sales. Initially, the campaign prompted a 60% jump in American.
Because we're calling people Nazis, but who is killing who? What do you mean?
Eagle website visits, signaling demonstrating strong online engagement. However, the brand failed to see any meaningful increase in market share or sales. Retail analytics firm Pass By revealed a 3.9% drop in store visits in the first week after the campaign launch, following a further 9% decline the following week. However, American Eagle wasn't the first company.
Charlie Kirk wasn't killed because he was a Nazi. Is that what you're thinking? Like, happen?
Need to use this great genes double entendre, but the first time it was used will genuinely make
it's the rhetoric. I guess it's easy to equate the situations, like if you're looking from a social media aspect and you can't step out of that to understand that there's social there's like there's real life politics and then like the social media politics. So you hear like from Hassan, you hear from what's a right wing guy? As or Charlie Kirk died, Charlie Kirk. And there's like the internet politics, and that's not really real. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the realness of it. So on the internet is if you don't agree with far left people, they call you a Nazi. If you don't agree with far right people, you're a woke snowflake who want to like poison and turn all the children gay. And that's like the internet, you know what I'm saying? Like what people see on the internet. So when all this went down, I guess for like a lot of people who are like really on the internet a lot, they're not seeing it for what it is. So this is what happened. Basically, you know, the person, the victim, Charlie Kirk, spews a lot of transphobic rhetoric about them being mentally ill type people, this, that, XYZ. He's transphobic, point blank, period. The guy who shot him was dating had a trans partner and felt very strongly about how he invalidated his partner's existence and decided to take Charlie's life. That's what happened. But, you know, and made some memes about it with some weirdness about it, but that's why he was shot. I mean, he shouldn't have been shot for that. Like, that's fucking insane. Like, what I think is insane is and like the crazy thing about this, I thought they're lying about that. I don't think so. I don't think they're lying about that. I think that's why. 100%. I actually looked into it, and the cops have released the text between the shooter and their partner, and their partner had nothing to do with it, didn't lead them into it, didn't know what was gonna happen, had nothing to do with it at all. But like you look through history, any group that was persecuted, what does that mean? Saying they're not real, that what they're feeling is a psychosis, that they don't deserve the same rights as everyone else, that they're lesser than others, that, you know, what does that mean? And as me and you being cis straight white males, we've never felt our existence invalidated, so it's hard to understand what that is or to know what that is. But if you're a minority or you're part of someone of, you know, who POC, you can really feel that in certain circumstances and situations. The guy that shot him was also on the MAGA side. No, he wasn't. That's a lie. My mom loved him. Listen, bro, I read the police report. I saw the text. He wasn't the guy who shot him he was left. He was opposite of Charlie, point blank, period. He didn't like Charlie's politics and shot him. He's a piece of shit. They're both pieces of shit. But neither of them, Charlie didn't deserve to die. He had a family, he had a wife and kids, and now that child, I think he had 2 children, right? Will grow up without a father, and there's no excuse, there's no words that could be said on this planet that could make that right. You know what I mean? 2 kids, yeah, like there's no words, like there's nothing you can utter at all under the sun that could make it right to take someone from their children, from their wife, from this planet. Not words. Actions, yes, I do believe there are actions, but no matter what anyone says, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I don't believe he was doing anything physically that warranted that. And even then, like, kill the cops and, you know, shoot somebody. But here's the crazy thing, and this is where I'm going to blow your mind. Probably not, because the government is already trapped you. They've already got their fish hooking you. They knew Charlie Kirk was going to die in the government. They let it happen. Because they know people who think one thing, who are more left-leaning, people who are more right-leaning, cannot come to a conclusion, and it's going to be a boiling point and frustrate them, and it's just going to be like, people are going to get so defensive over it. It's to distract from the Epstein files. It's to distract from the Epstein files, 100%. Trump classified them and got rid of them where we can't see what's on them. We don't know what's on them, but Elon Musk was on them, Trump was on them, and Prince Andrew, and we'll never know what's on the Epstein files. And it's a distraction. So, chat, if I disappear the next couple days, just know Biden could release them. But yeah, but he's a politician, so his buddy or him or someone he knows. Listen. The Epstein files implicate both sides. It's not a political thing. That's what I'm saying. It's not a political thing. It's not about left or right. It's about rich and powerful versus us. You don't worry. Like, because it doesn't even matter, because if you're on the left or right, there's some rich guy who doesn't care about politics, cares about power and money. He's put money in both your guys' pockets to get what he wants.
Make you feel disgusted. In 1980, Calvin Klein threw a Hail Mary when the brand featured Brooke Shields in a television ad where she says the famous tagline, "You want to know what comes between me and my Calvins? Nothing." The campaign also included a commercial in which Shields used wordplay involving jeans and genes. Genes are fundamental in determining the characteristics of an individual and passing on these characteristics to succeeding generations. The campaign was met with immediate backlash from the public. They were upset because they interpreted the tagline, "Nothing came between her and her Calvins," as a sexual innuendo. This was a problem because Brooke was only 15 years old. By 1980, Calvin Klein was already gaining a reputation for being bold,
that is a little
youthful,
weird,
and slightly provocative, but the brand was still far from competing with the top competitors in fashion. The brand's entry into the denim market helped CK appeal to a broader audience. Designer jeans were starting to emerge as a fashion.
Apparently there was a shooting in a Mormon church today too by like an ex-Marine.
Fashion trend, and Calvin Klein
I saw like a headline about it, but I was getting it for stream, so I didn't have time to look into it.
Jeans that were marketed as stylish and more luxurious than traditional denim. The brand aimed to target a younger audience who wanted to be seen as...
Listen, chat, listen. I'm gonna tell you this now. I don't believe in a lot. I think a lot of things are made up by people and in people's heads from social media, but the government is for sure employing things to divide people, to divide you from your friends, from your family, to keep people from hanging out, to keep people from talking, to keep us ununified, and to hate each other as much as possible. So don't let that shit happen, bro. Don't let that shit happen. Don't get distracted from the bigger picture, chat. You know what that is? Tomorrow's the last day of September. And the government doesn't want you to be focused on that. They're trying to confuse you. It's September, baby. Come on. And next month is the costume Halloween competition, where you get to send in your costume / cosplays for our Halloween competition where you could win a prize judged by your boy. Like, come on, bro. They're trying to distract you from the fucking final show, the Party Never Ends tour in Indianapolis, 1/2/26. Oh, yeah? No, so basically after Halloween, we have a special channel on Discord. You send them in, whatever you want. One costume cosplay, and we judge them, chat. And if you want to kind of see how it works, on my second YouTube channel, there's some past ones we've done. But you send them in. There's 3 categories we judge them off of. After I judge them all on stream, 1 costume per person. Yeah. If we judge them on stream, I pick my top 3, and then we put a poll in chat, and chat gets a vote on the number 1, and we get a wiener. I'm gonna cry over mine. Why?
Cool and edgy rather than conservative and traditional. Calvin Klein seemingly chose Shields because she was young and probably had a younger fan base. Brooke started modeling as a baby. She famously appeared in a soap ad before her first birthday. By the 70s, she was one of the most successful child models in the US, regularly featured in fashion campaigns and magazines. However, people took a strange liking to Brooke after she starred in the 1978 film Pretty Baby, where she played a child prostitute. Although the role cemented her as a serious actress, it also caused adults to start treating the 12-year-old as something to desire. One specific magazine writer couldn't hold back their fascination for the child. The most perfect nymphette in all creation has been found in America. Her name is Brooke Shields. Brooke's hair is elegant, brown, and clean. Her
What the fuck does that mean?
skin pale and Puritan, her eyes sinfully blue, and her lean body just starting to curve into womanhood. She's a sultry mix of all-American and horror. She's the hottest new young thing in movies since a smoldering preteen named Elizabeth Taylor stiffened up Louis Meyer cigar. She is only 12 years old and destined to be the symbol of 1984. That was actually written...
A French word. Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying it, bro. I actually missed Frog. It's actually good having her back. I know you've been busy and Miami doing God knows what, but it's good to have you back.
The release of Pretty Baby coincided with her modeling career, where Shields was starting to appear in provocative ad campaigns. Calvin Klein wanted to participate in the trend, but noticeably crossed the line. Shields appeared in their campaign wearing some tightly fitted jeans and her blouse unbuttoned, purposely done to expose the teenager's midsection. It was attention-grabbing, but perceived to not be too much. After the campaign came out, Brooke wasn't prepared for the extreme backlash that ensued. She said, "I was away when they came out, and then I started hearing that the commercials were being banned. The paparazzi would scream at me and my mother. How could you? It just struck me as ridiculous." As a child, Brooke couldn't interpret these innuendos being fed to her by the predatory adults around her. "I didn't think it was about underwear or sexual in nature. I was naive." Despite the backlash and the campaign being banned from major US TV networks like CBS and ABC, Calvin Klein saw a huge boost in sales. According to The Economist, the ad helped sell 400,000 pairs of jeans in the week following the commercial launch and generated about $12.5 million in royalties by the end of the year, which just proves that backlash doesn't always destroy a campaign. Sometimes it helps. Either way, the only thing we can guarantee is that another one is right around the corner.
I never heard of it, bro. To be honest.